trying to record a walking video, but we have to keep a lookout for phone thieves. I don't know how much I'm going to go on about this one, but we can both suffer from this issue. As I always say in these videos, empathic beings are not perfect. We make mistakes. We sometimes show carelessness. We sometimes show lack of impulse control. Sometimes we show lack of self-control. However, that's just not our forte. It's not the way we generally go about our day-to-day living and existence. We tend to take great care in many things. We tend to be quite stable. We tend to be quite consistent and show great levels of structure and indeed discipline. That being said, narcissists, psychopath, sociopath, narcopath, energy vampire, cretin, destiny blocker, destiny swapper, all that variety. Impulsive liar, compulsive liar, sorry. That was the one I was trying to think of that word. Yeah. Saboteurs, voyeurs, perverted minds, polysexuals, pansexuals, transsexuals, LGBTQIA plus of any variety. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about some. So these cretins, when I met relationship number 1, my lust level was high at this point. So she used to come in to where I used to play records in this radio show program, and every time I would play on her lunch break or her tea break, she would come inside and she would sit there, have a cigarette, and she used to say, "Oh, I really like your wallet." I should have known from that point what it was all about. Anyway, at one point she would say, she moved in with me straight away where I was living. She was like, "Oh, I don't not stay with my partners, I always be with them all the time," which was a great lie. Because at one point, her ex-boyfriend, who is another narcissistic sociopath, psychopath, came to my flat. And while everybody was just hanging out, drinking, smoking, having conversation, all he did was go through all my records one by one, looking at them, reading them, mocking them, comparing, contrasting, showing other people, "Oh, look at this record, oh, look at how this is all that, it's not the first original issue, it's a repress, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you got this, oh, I've got that, blah, blah, blah." That's all he did. And he asked her a question. He asked her, because she had this little antique piece of furniture, a little table, and it was in my flat. He asked her name, blanked out. "Did you move in with me?" And she said no. At that point, first red flag, my mind was like, what's going on here? But I just thought, you know what, whatever. Okay, and then another story. When there was a moment where she wanted to go to her flat to pick up some stuff. And when she went there was a whole commotion, like she was getting kicked out of this place. And for some reason, the coat she was wearing got caught in the lift. So the coat ripped, like a big rip on the back of this coat. This like vintage fake fur jacket. A big rip down the back of the jacket. I remember that. So there was always like some kind of chaos. Yeah. And I was speaking on the last video about this guy who came across as confident and popular, who was actually just a overt narc. And recently, one of his parents, rest her soul, rest in peace, passed away and left him sizable inheritance money. And he's got a sister, and his sister managed to secure a flat or house, and literally he went out drinking and he used the rest for illicit substances and everything else in between, but not sort himself out to the fact that it was literally like drinking out every night, eating out every night. And he was actually generous, so he would help all his friends. He even helped me at one point when you needed money to buy something and you borrow it from him, you pay it back. He did come through. So he did do that. But these narcissists, their appetite is just insatiable. They can't control their urges. You know, they have really bad impulse control. And he ended up homeless, and he ended up living in a pub in the attic or the basement of a pub. I never actually got to see. I didn't actually see where he was living, but I know that he ended up using all the money on alcohol and party stuff, and he ended up homeless. But yeah, like I said before, this can happen to us at times when we get into trouble, and we can end up. I've done it before when I've had to stay with a friend or family where something wasn't organised, or I had to move out of somewhere. A lot of empaths, we get displaced by narcissistic landlords. That happened to me before. It might be happening now, where we have to just let go of these properties because it's been ran by people that are just gang stalking us and working behind the scenes against us. So that's our situation. But yeah, number one situation, she came to live with me straight away, which is like big red flag. And I ended up getting us a new place and paying the deposit. And then she ended up stealing me, kicking me out, reactive abuse. She went to the police and I got kicked out of that property. So she ended up keeping $5,000 of my own money. And when she's got this friend who's like a bulldog, and this friend who's like used to date one of the males from the narcissistic group I was in, sees me, she just starts barking things down the street. Even though this happened like 7 or 8 years ago, when this woman sees me, she just starts shouting. Even if she's in a car, cycling, walking, it doesn't matter. She starts shouting absurdities. So yeah, they always need a place to live. And I actually met up with one. Was it last summer or summer before ago? And I think I was talking about her in another video where she was talking about her cap. This young lady, I'd met her and she was homeless. Yeah, I was talking about taking us on holiday or going away somewhere. And I remember that she didn't have a house. So these people, they always burn their bridges. They're not stable. They're usually homeless. They're hobosexuals. They will use you for a place to stay. They've mastered the art of lust. They've mastered the art of giving you your desires, sexual favors, which will take you into a situation where you're not operating from your highest self. So you're not using your logic brain. You're kind of have this mind fog and the constant love bombing and mirroring that they do. So if you're out there, beware of anyone who wants to move in with you straight away, lying, claiming that they've met their soulmate. It's all love. It's not. It's all lies. All right, that's the video. Uno.